You too. The Texans are making the playoffs. Let's talk about it. The Houston Texans started out the season 0-3, lost their franchise quarterback, and now their defense is playing like one of the best defenses we've seen since the Legion of Boom. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, I got stats to prove it. So we start this season now. We started about it with a 0-3 season. The media had already written the script. It's like, oh, they're a young team with a really bright future, but they're just not ready yet. CJ Stroud maybe isn't the CJ Stroud that we thought he was his rookie year. Maybe his rookie year was his best year. People thought, oh, D'Amico Ryans couldn't be a head coach. But the Houston Texans are about to make the playoffs. They're about to be the first team to do it since the 2018 Houston Texans They're about to be the first team to make the playoffs after starting 0-3 since the 2018 Houston Texans. Come on now, let's talk about it. So overall, y'all been seeing how this season has been going for the Texans. If y'all been paying attention to my videos, we were on a rough little patch. Started out 0-3, losses to the Rams, the Bucks, and the Jags. Then our quarterback gets hurt, and it's just overall just looking like, yeah, let's go ahead and chalk up the season. And I'll admit, I was one of the people who said, let's chalk up this season. I was like, okay, let's go ahead and get a good draft pick. Let's be ready for next year. I was ready to fire Nick Caley and say, give me Mike McDaniel. I still think Mike McDaniel could kind of have some input on this offense, but Nick Caley seemed like he brung it back around. He fixed it up a little bit better. We're looking a lot better, even though that last game against the Chargers, first quarter we came out hot, scored two big shot plays right out the gate, 14-0 to start it, and then we just kind of took our foot off the gas for the whole rest of the game. I don't know what was going on with us. I say Merry Christmas to everybody. By the time y'all are watching this, it'll probably be Happy New Year. So Happy New Year to y'all. In the comments, I want y'all to list something that you want out of this new year, whether if it's for your sports team, whether if it's your own self goals. Let's see what you're striving towards this new year. And me, my goal is to drop a video once a week. So I'm going to make sure I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent on my content, making sure that I'm putting out videos. I can't make excuses for myself. I got the computer to do it. I got my webcam. I got all types of stuff that I could do now. So it's like, okay, I want to put out one video a week. It may be a sports talk video. I may try and drop some other types of content, but mainly it'll just stick around my sports talks. The Texans this season, 0-3 start, like I said. Davis Mills, he comes in and is the guy. 3-0 as a starter. Something that we was like, oh, this is what we needed. Then CJ Stroud comes in and backs him up, and it was just like, you don't even know what we're watching. We're watching something that's history being made. Like we said, Davis Mills comes in, he starts out 3-0, but he's not even playing hero ball like CJ was playing originally. We're just having a elite defense. The Houston Texans, this isn't luck. I hate that a lot of fans are going to be like, oh, the Texans, they're one good season. No, this is an identity. This defense has been legit for this whole season, and it's time to actually put the world on notice, put the league on notice, and everybody actually pay mind to it. Currently, right now, the Texans defense is allowing 16 points per game and around 272 yards per game, which is best in the NFL on both sides. Where it's like offenses are playing against this defense and can't score the ball. They're playing against the defense and can't move the ball. We're giving up about 120 rushing yards a game, if that. And I want to say it's a little bit lower. It might be like down to like 98. But this defense is just putting up the numbers. We're first in points allowed, first in yards allowed. And just to put that into perspective of how I said that this defense is generational, the 2013 Seattle Seahawks, Legion of Boom, everybody's favorite defense, Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas. That defense was what people would say generational, Legion of Boom. They allow 14.4 points per game. The Texans are right above that at 16.3. They allow 273.6 yards per game. The Texans are below that at 272. And right now, that's not just hype. That's straight up stats. The Texans are doing it in an era that throws the ball way more than the Legion of Boom. In the Legion of Boom era, 2013, you have big time backs in the backfield that are going for 200 yards a pop. This is almost like we're about to get to the point where we're getting Derrick Henry coming in. We got Adrian Peterson on the foul. You got LaShawn McCoy. You got running backs that are toting the ball at least 20 times a game. We're having that and that's the yards that teams are putting up. Nowadays, you got people dropping back. Trevor Lawrence throwing 38 passes a game. You got quarterbacks throwing for 300, 500 yards like it's nothing. You got more elusive backs. You got the Bijan Robinsons of the world that are getting out in space and catching passes. Jahmyr Gibbs. So having these type of offenses now, and the Texans are doing what the Texans are doing, that says a lot more than what that says a lot more, and it alludes to what the Legion of Boom were doing back then. This defense will be what carries the Texans into a deep playoff push, and that's the one next thing I kind of want to get into is talking about how the Texans, now that we're in the playoffs, we secured a playoff berth, what that looks like for us and what this playoff run could do for us. So originally, before we get to the playoffs, I want to talk about it. Again, I want to mention our four Pro Bowlers, Will Anderson Jr., Derek Stingley, Azeez Al-Shaair, and Nico Collins. Congratulations to them for making the Pro Bowl. Again, I would say I'm hoping that they're not playing in the Pro Bowl because we're playing in the Super Bowl, but it's the best that we could do, and I'm glad that we got those four. Nico Collins, we have to give him his flowers. He's a top 10 wide receiver, and he doesn't even have insane target volume. And he lost his quarterback his starting quarterback for 3 games. Like, come on now, this is a star. This is a star wide receiver that needs a lot more respect. And on the defensive side of the ball, the whole video we've already been talking about how amazing this defense is, and you're seeing that, and I think the league is starting to notice, and that's how we get 3 Pro Bowlers off of that. And I feel like we deserve more because Jalen Petrie is a guy who's been balling out. Neil Hunter is a guy that's been balling out. We have guys that are balling out, but 3 is what the league's going to allow. They're not going to allow more than 3 people on the All-Star game from one team, especially one defense at that. The Chargers game, I want to mention that. We did really good. Like I said earlier, we came out hot. It looked like, okay, yeah, we show that we're ready to make this playoff push. We're ready to put fear into other AFC teams' hearts. And seeing how the way we came out in that game, taking shot plays, I felt like I was texting my brother back and forth. I felt like we went immediately to making Nico more of a decoy than giving him some of those shot plays. Like the Jaden Higgins play off at the beginning, the play action, deep post route. Go back and watch the film. That's Nico Collins' play. First drive, come out with a deep shot. That's Nico Collins all day. But instead, we put Nico on the deep over route and left the deep ball for somebody else. And it left him to be wide open because Nico draws so much attention. And I think I like that. I like scheming our guys open. I've been saying that plenty of times. Scheming guys open. Putting Nico Collins in places where people don't expect him to be at changes up the entire way of how our offense looks. The more we continue to do that, our defense will continue to put up numbers like they've been doing, and our offense will be right there behind them and be able to push us through the end of those playoff games. But speaking into the playoffs, right now we're still sitting at the 5 seed. We're right outside the playoffs. We might end up as either the 5 or the 6, depending on where the Bills go. But I believe we have the tiebreaker above them. But the division is still up for the taking, but the Jaguars play against the Titans, so that's going to be a really at this point I'm just expecting that we don't win the division because it's like, okay, Jaguars get it. Even if the Jaguars lose and we win, I think they would still get the tiebreaker above us because we would both finish with the same record. So at this point, it's okay. Wild card matchup, it is what it is. Of course, any person would want to have some home field advantage throughout the entirety of the playoffs, but you got to make what you do. We've been playing lights out, so like I said in my last video, I don't think any team wants to see us in January anyway. So us going up against the Colts, it'll be an interesting matchup. I think we should just go ahead and finish off this season. Shout out my boy Zay, but the Colts, we gotta put belt. We gotta continue to put belt in the AFC. That it runs through Houston. The AFC runs through Houston for sure. But this playoffs is going to be good. I'm looking at the matchups. It's looking that we're probably going to play either the Ravens or the Steelers, more than likely, whoever wins that division. So I'm hoping for the Steelers. That offense doesn't look good. DK Metcalf will be coming off of a suspension right into the playoffs, so that's not looking good. The Ravens, I have high hopes against the Ravens as well. We beat them earlier this season. Although, yes, they were very injured, but Lamar Jackson is probably the one quarterback I wouldn't want to play. But overall, I have confidence in this team and this defense as what they've been doing this season, and I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. And Yeah, that's been a lot. Like the Texans have been those guys. The defense has been looking insane, up there with Legion of Boom status. This Border Patrol defense is fire, and I hope that they can continue to keep rolling. They make this playoff push, and I'm hoping we hang up a banner in February. That's really what I'm hoping. But that being said, y'all stay tuned. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. I'm trying to get this up. Again, happy New Year to y'all, and I'm hoping that this year is filled with nothing but blessings and all types of praise that you deserve. But all right, y'all. Peace.